Hey guys, it's Emily. I know it's been a long time, like over a week or almost 2 weeks since I've said hello. So I thought I would check in and say hi and see how everybody's doing. So a few things from the last couple of weeks. I was on vacation, which was fantastic. I planned to write a little blog write-up about Portland, Oregon, and all the fun places we went while we were there. It was a great little city, very cute, very hipster, lots of stuff to do, but a good time all around. Um, and I also was in Seattle for a little while, just kind of a Pacific Northwest trip, and it was great. Had a great time. The other thing that happened is that I was a little under the weather, so that's part of the reason I didn't post any videos. I just had like a massive sore throat and a stuffy nose, all that good stuff. But the good news is that over those few days, I did stay on plan as well as I could. So the one thing that I found that was difficult was that I had a hard time finding foods that didn't aggravate my sore throat. So I did a lot of the juicier drinks, like the orange blend and the tropical punch mixed with ice, and it was kind of like a little icy on the back of my throat. And then the shakes just tasted weird to me with the sore throat. So I'm sure you didn't want to hear all about that. I was just kind of excited that I was able to find stuff and not have to revert to I don't know, Lipton cup of soup or something. And I also mainlined a lot of the Powerade Zero. That seemed to help me a little bit too, not get dehydrated. So anyway, after I was sick, I headed on vacation, and for the most part, I did really well. We were able to find restaurants where I could, like I said, I've heard, I guess I shouldn't say I've heard this. I've heard a lot of people who have talked about going on MetaFast state that one of the reasons is that they don't want to have to cut back on the times that they go out to eat or the places where they can go. And I have to say, pretty much without exception, I've been able to find something everywhere we went. And usually it's really good food that I liked. All the restaurants that we visited while I was gone had great food. Even we went to a Seattle Mariners game. They played my Detroit Tigers while we were there, and they even had Caesar salads. So I got a little chicken Caesar salad. So I didn't, I've not felt this pressure, this disappointment that oh, all I can get is a salad, or all I can get is, steamed veggies again. I've been able to find really tasty foods. One of the exciting parts about going to the Pacific Northwest was that they had really good seafood. So I'm actually going to try my own cioppino recipe, which if you haven't had cioppino before, it's this tomato-based soup that has all these different kinds of seafood. I had one that had scallops and crab and shrimp and, fish, any kind of fish that makes a good fillet. So haddock, and I don't even remember what else was in it, but just so, mussels. I had the best mussels while I was out there. So it was all good. So I have to talk about this one story that kind of, it wasn't a wake-up call or a revelation. It was nothing that serious. It was just kind of this almost a reminder that I don't have to have this mentality anymore. So we were eating out. We went to an Italian place, and primarily they had pizza and spaghetti and stuff, but they had some really great salads. We had some mussels. My boyfriend tried mussels for the first time. You can thank me later for that. Delicious. They were so delicious. Roasted. And I ordered this really great salad that had, just yummy spices and stuff. And then I also got just a little side order of meatballs. So I'm eating the meatballs, and as I'm eating them, it dawned on me that they might have breadcrumbs in the recipe. And I was in my head, I'm oh great. I had this, it was literally only about 30 seconds long, but it was, this just loop of a freak out of oh my gosh, I'm going to go off plan. I'm not going to be in fat burning mode. I'm going to ruin everything I've worked on, just this da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And so I took a mental breath, and I was okay, worst case scenario. I've consumed some amount of carbohydrates that puts me over sort of the recommendation that MetaFast makes. I take myself out of fat burning mode, and what? I die. I, children in Africa go hungry? Like what is going to happen here that's going to make this like the most terrible thing ever? And the answer to that question is nothing. Nothing about this situation was dramatic. Nothing about it was going to make anything bad happen. I finished the damn meatball and I went about my day. And you know what? The next morning I got up, I hit the treadmill in the hotel, stuck to my plan. We went out to a Mexican place that afternoon. I had this awesome fajita salad. It was so good. And I haven't thought about it since until I'm just talking about it right here. So I think the thing that I'm trying to keep in check and what I'm trying to remember, because, you know, I think a lot of us are in the same boat. Medifast is like, you know, what, the 8,000th program that you've probably been on. And the thing that I have to kind of keep myself in check on to remind myself that makes this program different is that I'm not going to allow my own dysfunctional thinking to derail me. So yeah, maybe there were breadcrumbs in the meatballs. I didn't ask. Maybe there were, maybe there weren't. Were there enough to like send me into, you know, some 10-pound weight gain? I highly doubt it, if there were any in there at all. And if so, so what? So what? The plan will always be there. The difference is that my will to stick to the plan is what fluctuates. So as long as I make it a priority to constantly, I guess, to be vigilant about what I'm putting in my body, what I'm thinking about, where my mentality is when I'm eating out. As long as I am steadfast and strong, the program will always be there, right? Like that's a static thing that doesn't go away. It's my mentality that I have to check. It's that like that broken record mentality of like, oh, you know, you made a mistake, so this ruins everything, and now you have carte blanche to eat ice cream and pizza and cookies and, you know, dip your french fries in ranch dressing. Like that's the kind of thing that has to kind of be turned off for me. And I had a tiny little success with it while I was on vacation. So it was a good little kind of boost. So I'm happy to report I just finished up like 12 weeks. And so when I started this plan, there was kind of like a challenge that my health coach was doing. So I started at the end of January. And so the 12 weeks wrapped up today, actually. So happy to report after 12 weeks, I lost a total of 53 pounds and 10 inches around my waist. So I am so excited. The apprehension that I'm feeling that I'm not going to be able to keep this up is slowly dissipating when I have these little kind of hurdles that I get over, like the meatball freak out of 2013. So, I'm just sort of like faking it till I make it. Like, I am doing this. It's not that I can do it. I am doing it. And I'll continue to do it. So I'm, the first 3 months are great. I'm hoping the next 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, 12 months will be equally as good. So what's coming up, right? May's around the corner. Today's April 25th, almost 26th. It's really late and I'm tired and I need to go to bed, but I wanted to record this. So a couple months ago, I read The Happiness Project. I don't know if anyone's read that, but I'm kind of doing my own little mini happiness project. I've been doing it sort of monthly, but I wanted to do something formally because this has been a great tool for me to stay motivated for my weight loss. So I figure, hey, I'm going to do other cool stuff that's beneficial to me because it's all about me. Just kidding. So I want to talk a little bit about that and sort of the goals that I've set for myself for May. And then I also just got my new box of food in, and I went out on a limb and tried some new stuff this month. So I want to maybe do some tests. I know Leah from Fit and Fat by 40 did the tomato bisque, and I bought a little packet of it. So I mentioned the bisque. I don't know if you guys are Seinfeld fans, but that's always what I think of. Yada, yada, yada. I mentioned the bisque. Anyway, I hope everybody's doing well. I'll be checking in more frequently. And thanks for watching. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.